Hello, everyone, and welcome to the main event. This is the Iron Gauntlet Finals match to decide the world champion for the 2018 Lock and Load season. So excited.
Yes. It's going to be great.
It is. And, I mean, I say 2018. I might as well just call this what it is, 2017's grudge match extraordinaire.
Yes, absolutely.
Between Aaron Whale and Patrick Dunford.
Yes. So this is a rematch.
It is.
From the Grand Finals last year. It is slightly different, though, because Patrick was indeed playing Crix. No, Signar. Aaron was still playing Crix at the time. Pat was playing Signar, and he's like, I really like the look of these little Grimkin mans, so I'm going to pick some of these up at Lock and Load, and I think they're pretty cool. So he's playing Grimkin here this year. He
is playing Grimkin. And you see the trophy right there on your screen. That is the Iron Gauntlet. Different from previous years, it no longer holds a globe, but it is wearable, and I hear that if you snap your fingers, you'll make a noise.
Yep. We had our handshake there from the players. We had Patrick Dunford over here on the right-hand side playing the Dreamer. Aaron Whaley on the left-hand side playing Asphyxious the Hellbringer. We've got a couple of our people here in our area watching.
Yep.
We got a little thing set
Finals
up. They can't
match
get too close.
always draws a huge crowd. Our scenario today is going to be the Pit 2.
It's very exciting. It has two squares.
It's a championship belt.
Two not squares. Two rectangles. That's what a not square is.
A square is a rectangle. But not all rectangles are squares.
Correct.
Geometry.
Science.
No, geometry.
We've got science geometry. And then we've got two objectives, obviously, in here. One controlled by each player. Pat here has picked Stockpile, which does heal his War Beasts.
Yep.
And then Aaron has picked Armory, which can give him a little bit more magic weapons to deal with some of these.
To deal with the gremlins?
Yep.
All the gremlins
Those
ever.
gosh darned pesky gremlins.
There's a lot of gremlins.
Yep.
So let's talk about their list really quick. Why don't you go over Patrick's?
Absolutely.
Boosh.
Pat's list here is the Dreamer, 3 Cage Ragers, 2 Skin and Bones, 3 Gorehounds, a Death Knell, 2 Grabbits, and 4 Gremlins.
And it's Dark Menagerie, right? This is the exact same list that you might have seen him play in an earlier stream where he brought the Dreamer out and had good success with it. Aaron, what?
He's also got Arcana.
Oh, yeah, pick your Arcana cards.
So he's got Labyrinth and Sacrifice. So Labyrinth gives enemy models in his control area -2 speed. And then Sacrifice, if you destroy one of his models, it fully heals everybody.
Yep. And
then he, of course, has the Dreamer's Trump card of All Fall Down.
Yep.
So
and those are the exact 3 Arcana cards he picked when he played Jeff Everett, I believe, earlier in this weekend. And for Aaron Whale, we're going to see his Black Industries list. So Asphyxious 3, Vociferon, 3 Night Wretches, 9 Slayers, because all the Slayers all the time, a Soul Trapper, a Machine Wraith, and a unit of Ironmongers. So this is going to be a battle group-centric match.
This is going to be a slugfest.
This is the heavyweights going toe-to-toe for the championship belt.
It writes itself, Schick.
It does. It does.
My gosh. So this is Aaron's 3rd time playing in a row on stream here. He's played his Scar list once, and he's played his Slayer list twice here. Let's go over the terrain right quick. We had a little bit of confusion last round about it. Tony, the Magnificent, has made us
whipped up a fantastic key system.
Absolutely. So this lists everything here. We got that Acid Pool up at the top, followed then by a Forest and Obstruction going a little farther south. Another forest there in the middle of the circle zone. A linear obstacle, which I will continue to call them, even though they're not called that anymore.
I do it too, so you're safe.
Just on the left side of our map here. On the right side, another linear obstacle. Another big old obstruction, some objectives, and a forest hanging out down there. So thank you very much for that, Tony. It's beautiful.
All right, now we see the handshake.
Here we go.
And our
Looks
players
like
are ready to get underway.
Our first turn is going to kick off. We've passed the clock back to Pat. Pat's going to be going first here. We've got some apparitions going on. Our little gremlin swarms are just going to kind of boop forward. Not super relevant, I don't think. It'll be interesting. So let's make some predictions.
Let's make some
bold
I like to
predictions.
Do at the beginning.
Here. So let's pop on up to that overhead view, and then we'll see what we can get on some of this stuff. So always talk about channels, right? Like channels where models can go. These kind of things are all choke points. These are usually where actions happen in games of War Machine because that's where the armies are going to meet. Now, Aaron is definitely boxed in here, right? Like this forest, he doesn't have a ton of Pathfinder. Well, I guess he's got mobility, so he has plenty of Pathfinder. Yeah. But
he's got all the Pathfinder.
He has to cast it, which he will probably be doing first turn. But these kind of choke points can cause order of activation issues for Aaron. They don't necessarily hinder him because he does have that Pathfinder from mobility.
I think it's the line of sight blocking that's going to be more significant for Aaron as he tries to figure out how to get his models in. He can move in, but he's got to be careful not to take the charge.
Absolutely. So I actually want to talk about something that's a little more high concept here. Pat doesn't have a whole lot of Pathfinder in his list, right? So maybe, and he went first, so Aaron got to pick sides.
Yep.
So maybe if Aaron had picked the other side, you could have gummed up Pat on these forests. I don't know. Who knows what actually went down? It could be anything.
Yeah.
But Pat doesn't have a lot of Pathfinder. He's got a little bit on Skin and Moans. He can put down his Artifice. I think gets rid of Pathfinder, or gets rid of Rough Terrain for his army.
it lets you pass through.
Yep. So he's got a little bit going on there, but not a ton. So I think we're going to see some Slayers run up pretty aggressively in here. These Cage Ragers, not particularly fast. We've got no Phantasms yet, so there's no Arc Notes yet for the Dreamer. So we're probably unlikely to see anything going on with Abyssal Gate, sort of pulling these things in. So I think we're going to see some of this action. And Slayers are probably just going to just get right in here. They'll probably get about right here.
I'm curious on Artifice.
Yeah, so there's the Artifice we were talking about. This is going to give Pat's War Beasts a little bit of cover here. I don't think it's going to be super duper relevant, however. So,
no.
Yeah, I don't think Artifice is going to be a super duper relevant thing here. But the Mirage, however, has been casted on this guy, the Skin and Moans. And that's going to give him a little blip over to here, and then he can charge into this zone next turn. So the Skin and Moans is probably threatening about that much of the zone, if I had to guess. And he can come around this direction if he wants as well, because excellent positioning by Pat. There's enough room for the Skin and Moans to kind of go either direction there. Some people, look at that little guy. So that cuts off this entire half for the Skin and Moans for the Apparition, because he can only go that way.
Those troublesome
So we're
gremlins.
telegraphing just a little bit.
Yeah.
Telegraphing just a little bit. Actually, if that's a Gremlin Swarm, I think they can apparate first. Then he can apparate over, so that's completely
It is
fine.
definitely Gremlin Swarm, so.
Yep. So that's kind of how I see this game going. I think we're honestly going to see a bunch of Slayers get way up here, and then we're going to see the kind of slower threat range from these Cage Ragers come into effect. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. That's what's going to happen. Our Slayers will get aggressive. I doubt there's going to be a whole lot of scenario play going on here. There might be a little bit. It looks like Pat's north side is a little weak, but Aaron does not have a great way to deal with these Gremlin Swarms, and those can be really, really bad for...
So Asphyxious goes first and cast mobility right away.
Yeah, great. Perfect. That can be really bad for Aaron trying to win stuff here.
You got a box.
I did get a box. I know what that is.
All right, so here we go.
All right. So he moves on up. He goes right there. No mistakes are happening just yet. We're not going to see any amazing turn 2 Gorehound plays that just scoop him right out of this game.
Right away.
That would be horrifyingly sad.
Go home early. I mean, these players might not have eaten lunch yet. They could just be like, eh. But really, you want to eat your lunch with the Gauntlet on.
Yes, I had a hot dog for lunch. It was lovely.
Yeah. Nice.
It was a thoroughly fine hot dog.
It was an adequate hot dog. All right, so we're checking to make sure we're outside of threat here.
Actually, we are checking to make sure we are inside threat there. I think he's trying.
Threat.
Oh, no, he has changed his mind.
I was going to say.
Just outside of 12.
Pretty sure it was just outside of 12.
Well, if he does move up there, right, like, I don't think he's necessarily sad if he just decides to take the charge from that Skin and Moans.
Sure. I'd trade a Slayer for a Skin and Moans.
Absolutely, right. And you got these Speed 4 Cage Ragers back here. They're not particularly quick. Pat, I think, really wants to play the waiting game.
Right.
I think he wants the Slayers to have to commit into him. I don't think he really wants this Alpha Strike. I think things like the the Labyrinth Arcana or the All Fall Down Arcana can really help him out here.
Right.
And sort of when he takes that attack, he can punish Aaron for it.
Sure. Well, the last game we saw with Pat running the Dreamer and a couple of his games so far, like this list really wants to play you on the clock. It wants to wear you down, get you to the point where you're going to death clock yourself.
Yes.
It's a very slow playing kind of army. All right. Slayer's moving on up.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything fancy going on here. We've talked a lot about how positioning is very important in a lot of these games. And it is certainly important at the moment, but I don't think we're really having any of the positioning stuff that matters right now.
Well, like you said, I mean, this early turn is going to set the stage for which zone is going to be pushed for if one of the players decides to try to get up on the CP game if they're playing for turn 7. Right now, I would kind of expect the North Zone to be a little hotter on Aaron's if I'm going to score, this is where I'm going to go list.
Yeah.
Not only does it have the enemy objective, it also has an obstruction that's right in the way for a lot of Patrick's models.
Looks like we're setting it up so we can charge this guy next turn. I want to see what kind of amazing Gremlin Swarm plays we're going to get here.
Yeah?
Yep. That's always my favorite. Like, the little randomized mischief effect is great. And I love, like, just kind of ripping things off Warjacks with them. And Slayers don't have a whole lot of boxes protecting their arms.
Right.
So, like, you put a little bit of damage on there, and then Gremlin Swarm's going to be like, hey-ya, give me that arm. and just kind of rip it off. So I think it'll be pretty good. And as we kind of explored earlier, there's not a lot of answers to these Gremlin Swarms in here, right? Like,
no, I mean, you've got Asphyxious, you've got a potential if you're close to your objective to be able to get magical weapons that way. Otherwise, I don't think, does Vociferon have any play here? I don't think his stick is magical, is it?
It might be. He is a spell slave, so he can cast stuff, but...
Well, he can cast spells. I was wondering more about his stick. Let's look. To the War Rooms!
To the War Rooms!
No, his claws are not magical.
Making sure to stay out of the threat range of this Gorehound here. We don't want to give away any of these little Night Wretches quite this early in the game. Just some real classic defensive play here. Hide behind the walls. Make sure you don't get any free charges out of there or anything like that. Don't give away what you don't have to.
Well, certainly this soul game for Asphyxious is going to be kind of light from Vociferon. The feet turn could be amazing.
Correct, yeah. I think
could
the feet
be
turn,
amazing.
The feet turn could be 30 focus.
Yeah, it could be all the focus
We'll bring back
ever.
the risen counter for the focus counter. All right, so we've got four getting cleared off by Gremlin Swarms, 6 back to the Dreamer. Pat is going to choose for Spirit Walker, so the Dreamer will be incorporeal. I wonder what he does with this, right? Like, she has the option to get pretty aggressive.
Yep. Like you said, there's a lack of magical weapons to really threaten her while she's incorporeal.
Yeah, so this could be a more aggressive play where Pat kind of moves forward, tries to hit an Abyssal Gate or something. That kind of stuff.
So Mirage is let go before the apparition can take effect. Here comes the apparition from the Gremlin Swarms. You know, one of the things that's also we didn't really talk about is that center circle zone. There's 3 things on the board that can score it. 2 of those are Warcasters. One of them is the only unit on the board.
Which is the Ironmongers.
Yep.
Yes, correct. So that circle zone, I think, is going to be pretty irrelevant during this game.
So we're checking some charges. There's an Ashen Veil up on one of the Slayers, it looks like. Which would cause a -2 to hitting for the living Grimkin Beasts.
You make quotation marks there. They're definitely alive.
Living.
They're definitely alive.
Yeah. I think that's debatable.
So I think Pat's kind of wondering, does he want to give away his Gorehounds right now? Does he? And if he does so, can he get a scenario advantage in that southern zone by kind of gumming up that area for the Slayers right down here? Like this, if he can put Gorehounds right here, he can put another Gorehound over here. That can kind of cut Aaron off from this right here, or at least getting as much stuff through, right? Because the Slayers that are located right here will have to kill the Gorehounds, and then they're kind of in the way for the next wave of stuff. Maybe you can cause a trickle effect by giving away some Gorehounds. I think Aaron did a great job of not committing these Slayers in. Like, I think Pat was hoping that he could get a charge here or get a charge here and take out some Slayers this turn, and then maybe protect his guys with the Gremlin Swarms with these Gorehounds. So by not giving him anything this turn, we're going to see the game progress at a little slower pace. But I think that's in Aaron's favor.
doing 2 for 1 for the next 10 minutes. If you want food from them, this is the last final call. I know we make probably a couple phone calls already, but this is the last one. Final call. 2 for 1.
So Patrick kind of going in the tank here a little bit. Trying to consider where to go next.
Yeah.
Thinking about his play here.
He's making choices right now. And this is something that just seems bad to me. Like, his entire army is on this part of the board.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, there are some gremlin swarms like here and here, right? So these guys can kind of get over here. But, I mean, you give Asphyxius a big feet turn. You got some little arc nodes that can run up in here.
Start blasting magic spells.
These little guys will go down pretty quick.
Hellfires.
You'll lose the CP here. Like, I think it could be really bad for Pat because he's decided to really, really, really commit down there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some arc nodes coming through for these cage ragers, so he kind of wants to see if he can abyssal gate somebody, and then maybe he can get a charge
Pull him
there.
in and murder him.
So last game, Aaron spent almost 15 minutes on his first turn. He's down to only 7 minutes or so on this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And now Pat is kind of going into the tank here.
Yep.
So Pat's checking out options, trying to see if he can get sort of a free Slayer, quote unquote, where he can get in there and kill one right now. I'm not sure that actually goes well for him. Like I kind of said, he wants to take the charge, and I think he wants to get like a really strong counterpunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wants to take the charge on these Gorehounds and not on his heavies. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, and I mean the other thing that Patrick seems to be continuing with is that forest right in the center of the board as well. He has to be careful about his line of sight, and of course the lack of Pathfinder that he has, except on the Gorehounds with their ghostly.
The Skin and Bones can animus with Lurker for it, but it's very inefficient because you got to pay 1 for the charge, you got to pay 1 for the Lurker. You only get a total of 4 attacks. So. We do have a couple people asking in chat here, what Arcana does Patrick have? And the answer is Labyrinth, Sacrifice, and All Fall Down.
So Dreamer casts Manifest Destiny and puts Mirage on the other Skin and Bones this time.
Yeah, so we did cast up Manifest Destiny, so it does look like we're going to try and do some work this turn.
That does mean there's no Abyssal Gate, though.
That is true. That is true. And it might have been a wasted Wraithwalker.
So the mouse is a proxy base. Not actually the mouse.
This Wraithwalker play could be something to try and trigger in a Labyrinth, right? Like get really aggressive. You can move pretty far up there. You can get a lot of these Warjacks caught in that -2 speed. And you're quite safe, right? Like if you camp 1 or 2, you can get spelled a couple times, but nothing spicy.
So see the advance. Asphyxius is in control. Obviously trying to, like you said, trigger Labyrinth next turn, potentially.
Patrick does have an absolutely fantastic conversion on his Death Knell here. He's got a piggyback driving it around, which I think is just fantastic.
Just picking out. I like the jaunty cap on one of his Skin and Bones. We do see a Gorehound going in, getting in there.
Yep. Ooh, that's a good roll. 6 to the 1 for the first attack.
Nice.
That's great. Right, like there's an Ironmonger back there, so they can get repaired. But it's. I think this is great for Pat here. Oh, that's less good for Pat.
Made up for it on the second one.
Cage Ranger is going to be in both zones here.
Yep. Kind of under one just based on how the template is falling right now, but
Looks like we're probably building a bunker with these Gremlin Swarms here. So what I mean when I say that is you can't
land on a Gremlin Swarm.
Yeah, you can't land on a Gremlin Swarm. So by putting them around where the Cage Ranger is going to end, so like if another one goes there, he's completely safe from these Slayers. Now, of course, there's an Arc Node right here, so this guy can kind of run around here. You can put a Hex Blast into him. You can boost some damage. Like maybe you can pick him off that way. But that's a huge resource investment that is not allocating focus to these Slayers. So while it can be cleared, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's something that Aaron wants to commit resources to.
So we see another Gorehound charging.
And I think this is mostly just a speed bump, right? Like I'm saying I don't think he even cares if these guys die. Like this is completely irrelevant for him.
It's 9 points to the 2 on the first attack.
Holy moly.
Oh, wait. 9 to the 2.
9 damage to 2. That is
Another great
a
roll.
heck of a roll. Let's see if he botches the second one again.
Can the averages swing back?
We got a buy. We hit a critical there. We're boosting it up. Can we do it again?
3 to the 1. So
3
still
to the 1.
overall a great showing for
Yeah,
that
man.
Gorehound.
A Gorehound does 12 damage to that heavy. I'm happy about that.
And that did take off the left arm. So that's not shabby, Gorehound. That's not shabby. So Skinamon advances to be behind the forest.
So it looks like the idea here is to kind of bunker up behind these Cage Rangers, let the Cage Ranger take the charge. If it dies, sad times. If it doesn't die, however, you're going to throw a happy party immediately. And then you're going to get your Cage Ranger on there, and you're going to get a Skinamons in there as well. So with Manifest Destiny, this is going to be a whole ton of attacks. It's going to be a lot of value. So I like Pat's play here. He's using line of sight blockers in this forest, using his Cage Rangers as like cloud effects, basically. Gremlin Swarm's probably going to bunker up a little. Nope, we're just still making sure that Aaron does not ever score that zone over there.
Checking for 3 so that he can.
So yeah, so
Fury?
No. So the Fury's only 1 inch. He's checking for 3 for the Arcane Vortex to make sure that there's no way that you can get that Gremlin Swarm out of there.
Crab it.
So he walked 6, hopped 5, kind of building that fort that we talked about here. Let's see it on a top-down view, and we can kind of start drawing in some of these walls, right? So we've got a Gremlin Swarm, we've got a Crabbit, we've got a Gremlin Swarm. There's no place for a Slayer to stand right there, right? They can get to these 2 heavies. If you can somehow get through this stuff, like maybe a Night Wretch or something kills the Crabbit, you kill 2 Crabbits, you can get a single Slayer in there. When it comes to single Slayers, these guys are not going to die to 1 Slayer. They're just not. It's not going to happen. I mean, I guess you could roll your pants off. That's fine, but it's very unlikely. So you need to get 2 Slayers on each one of these to really kill them. This wall is going to be very, very hard to get through to be able to get 2 Slayers onto one of these guys.
Well, especially with the Arcane Vortex, right?
Especially with the Arcane Vortex. So you can only hurt these guys with spells. You've got the Arcane Vortex on these 2 Cage Rangers. It's great. We got the same kind of situation going on here. You've got a Night Wretch. He can come over here. He can shoot this guy. It's nice +2. Maybe you can pick up the thing there. Yeah, we want to make sure this Death Knell stays 12 inches away from these guys because these Slayers can see it through this forest. We've built this nice line of sight blocker right here. We don't want to give him something that he can charge and then get into melee with either one of these Skin and Moons. Because these, I think, are going to be the pretty big workhorses of this game. Looking at Manifest Destiny. Maybe we end up with a couple corpses from like some Crabbits that die or whatever, and we can put those on there. So that I think is kind of where we're looking right now. I'm guessing this is probably 10 inches. So when this Gorehound dies, the Death Knell will get its corpse. So
All right.
here we are.
Well, now we're going to see how Aaron is going to respond to this wall of Grimkin.
Fantastic defensive play from Pat here, right? Like, it's very unlikely he's going to lose any of these three guys. These Skin and Moans are basically untouchable right now. Nothing's really going to happen there.
Smiley face you just drew.
Oh, it's even got a little tongue.
It does, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we've got this great defensive line going. We made it real hard for him to get offensive against you and kind of presented this is my threat range, right? So, like, Cage Ranger is not particularly fast. They're only speed 4.
Yep.
So they charge 7, 1-inch melee is 8. But you've got this threat of Abyssal Gate. You got these 3 arc nodes right here. So each one of these Slayers can be pulled in 3 inches. If you don't start committing to this zone, it's entirely possible you just, like, Pat scores a point in this middle zone.
Well, the Dreamer's already in there, right? So
Yeah.
He's forced the issue now.
So, I mean, there's no current Crix models in here. But when I say commit, like, this little Slayer going boop, like, that's not going to do anything. you need to put, like, 4 or 5 Slayers in there, right? And I think in doing so, you're going to sort of feed these Cage Rangers, which are not the best in combat. Like, they're Mat 6, POW 14, so it's not amazing. Or POW 17, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Manifest Destiny cranks that up
But
quite
Manifest
high.
Destiny does help out a lot with that. One, you're going to hit a lot of your attacks. You need 7s, but these are normal 7s. These are Signs of Importance 7s, which is fantastic. I mean, your 17 isn't great, but you know what? Slayers aren't great. Like, they're at 17, 19 with Unyielding.
Yep.
So, like, that's not a...
It's not awful.
That's not a great... That's not a great defensive stat either.
No.
So,
especially when you factor in Manifest Destiny again, like you said.
Yeah. So I think this is a probably, now that I've thought about it a little more and talked it through, I think this is looking really good for Pat right now. He's positioned great. He's not going to give up any points. These 2 models are almost certainly not going to die. This guy may as well just be invincible. Like, nothing's going over there to get him. So this zone is off limits for Aaron. This zone is not off limits, but it's pretty hard. We got a Cage Ranger in it. We got a Crabbit, and we got a Gremlin Swarm.
Well, I mean, the only point that Aaron really has access to at this point is the charge from the Slayer on the objective, and that would take resources away from kind of the important part.
Yes, yeah. So killing this objective gives him a point. Great, you got a point. I'm proud of you. But you know what it didn't do? It didn't win the game, and it didn't get anything done in this area. So Pat has sort of like presented this puzzle, and we'll see how Aaron feels like he can deal with it, if he can deal with it. Looking at this now, I think this is a pretty egregiously bad matchup for the Slayers. I think they're going to have a real hard time dealing with this stuff.
You think it would have been better dropping his Dark Host army into it?
I don't know. It's got a lot more magic weapons, at the very least, to deal with the Gremlin Swarms. It still hits very hard, so you're playing into 5 heavies still, but you'll get a lot less value out of Abyssal Gate. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I haven't thought about it too much. But I think this is one of the downsides of bringing a SKU list like 9 Slayers, right? Is you don't have the options to deal with this stuff. You've decided to put all of your eggs in one basket, and that's great, unless your basket needs to hold water and it's made out of wicker. And then you no longer have a basket.
That was some old-timey wisdom right there.
Bam! Wicker basket.
We went back to Tejas for that one.
Wicker basket.
You got a wicker basket. You trying to put your water in there, boy.
That's Louisiana. Let's not lump it together. You've been around hunger for too long.
To be fair, yeah.
That is a fair point, Pagani.
Exactly. Kudos to you, sir. All right, so Aaron definitely deep in the tank at this point.
Definitely.
But like you said, I feel like this is one of those turns where the whole rest of the game hinges on doing it correctly.
Well, yeah, I feel like if Aaron messes this up and doesn't get anything out of this turn,
he can't afford to trade Slayers for nothing, right?
Well,
if he loses a couple Slayers on Patrick's next turn and he doesn't effectively remove at least 1 or 2 heavies on this turn, he's going to start losing ground really quickly.
So Wobble Bomber asks, wait, so is Aaron or Pat holding the basket? I feel like Pat's holding the basket and Aaron is pouring the water through it.
I see.
So, yeah. We're checking a little bit of threat ranges here, checking this Mirage. Can he get into the forest? Can he see through it? That kind of stuff. So I think the Mirage is pretty much entirely bait at this point. Like, I don't think it's really going to be relevant. So, like, I don't think this Mirage matters at all, really. So like I think I mean, I haven't done the math, and hashtag MathGani is apparently a thing.
True.
But
It is.
I'm going to bet that a Cage Rager with Manifest Destiny gets real close to killing a Slayer.
Well, what you're looking at?
Look at
It's
7s
gonna
to hit. You're going to get, if you don't have to charge, like if Aaron really commits in here and you don't have to charge,
4 Fury.
you're getting 4 Fury, so 6 attacks total.
Yep.
You
And
probably
you're-
miss 1, maybe 2.
And you're
'cause Signs
5
of
off
Importance
the
is
roll
sweet.
at that point because you're powerful strength 14.
No, 14 was wrong. I don't know where that came from. I said that earlier. It's actually 17.
Oh, 17. So
Yes,
you're 2 off
yes.
the roll.
Yes. So it's 2 off the roll. You do...
I know where it came from. They used to be 14s way back in the day.
Oh, yeah, sure. Or maybe I'm thinking of suppressors, because in my mind, like a suppressor and a Cage Rager is a very similar
So
thing.
2 off the roll with Manifest Destiny, 6 attacks.
So let's say you get 5 or 6 damage a hit.
You're going
you
to
get
get
6
5
attacks,
damage
30.
a hits. Yep.
You get 6 attacks, 30. So if you hit all of your attacks, you probably kill it. If you miss 1 or 2, you don't kill it. But you leave a Slayer with like 4 or 5 hit points,
Right.
which is fine.
I
Like,
mean,
as long
once
as it
you've
doesn't have
taken out the
you're good
Cortex
to go.
and an arm, you're
Yeah,
effectively
and-
good to go.
And you just need 1 arm out, so they can't combo strike anymore, right? So like that's kind of what's going on here. So Aaron has done actually nothing on his turn, and he is catching up to Pat very quickly on time, which is not where you want to be as the second player.
Right.
You always want to be either equal or ahead on time as the second player to make them have the pressure of running out of clock first.
Cloak of Ashes is let go to focus on each Slayer in front of Asphyxius.
Mm-hmm.
And magical weapons go on the Night Wretch directly behind the objective.
Yeah, so that's actually not super great because if you hit the Gremlin Swarm, the Crabbit Shield guards it and you don't kill the Gremlin Swarm. If you miss the Gremlin Swarm, there's a chance you deviate off of it and do nothing. So I think you got to walk up real close to that Gremlin Swarm, deviate, miss, boost your damage roll on your blast damage, which is not great. I think they're armor 12. If they're in the Death Knell, they'll be armor 14. You're given the Death Knell corpses, which is not really something you want to be doing. There's so few corpses in this list that you do not want to give the Death Knell any corpses if you can get away with it. So it's exciting to me to kind of see how Aaron's going to try and piece through this puzzle. Because right now I'm feeling really good for Pat.
Somebody's asking why there's Asphyxius has cast mobility and used his feet.
Okay.
Somebody asked in the chat why there's lava in the forest. That is not actually lava. That is Crucible Guard chemical goo that's been seeping into the ground from those big pumping stations and corrupting everything.
We got our terrain thing back up here. We had a couple questions in chat about what was going on with that, just so everyone can see what's happening. All right, so somebody moved. Pat's going to trigger Labyrinth. So all 5 of those Slayers have -2 speed.
Yep.
And really what I think that's going to do
kind
now...
of a wash with mobility, right? Because he's losing 2 speed. He's gaining +2 for mobility.
Yes. Yeah, but I think that stops a lot of the sort of extreme threat ranges that can come out of the Slayers. Yep. Some repair actions coming on here. We took a little bit of damage from that Gorehound, so we're putting a little bit of those systems back together.
I mean, I wouldn't call that a little damage from the Gorehound. That was a decent amount of damage.
Oh no! So this guy here in the middle, this guy only did a little bit of damage. This guy was the champion.
Doing 12?
Yeah, this guy did like 12 or 13 damage to this Slayer right here.
I mean-
so that was great.
Doing 6 is still a lot.
Yeah,
He did buff the second one, though.
It's true.
Looks like we're measuring a Slayer into the
Yep.
back arc of the Gorehound.
Yep. So Slayer's moving into the back art, taking a free strike from that Gorehound. So Carapace works on free strikes, so they're unyielding and Carapace, which does make them armor 23 against free strikes.
Bow!
Needs 5s to hit. It's PAL 16, armor 13, +3. This is probably the end of this Gorehound. But I think this is basically exactly what Pat wants, right? Like, he wants these Slayers to come in. If this Slayer doesn't kill the Gorehound and a second one has to commit into it, I
Right.
think Pat's throwing a party. Like, he is absolutely throwing
Another
that party.
magical Christmas party.
No, I don't think this is Magical Christmas
Oh.
Land at all.
I said party, not land.
Sure,
That's
sure.
different.
I think Magical Christmas Party is when this Gorehound kills that Slayer. That's
I
Magical
see.
Christmas
Is that
Party.
it?
Yes.
Your conditions for parties are so strange.
Yeah, well. So no corpses from that Gorehound. That's unfortunate. That could be a slight positioning error on Pat's part there.
So Asphyxius gets a weird Grim Console from the murder of the Gorehound.
Spoopy.
So looks like we're going to charge a Krabbit.
Yep, so there's no Labyrinth on this Slayer here, so he can go super duper far. As I was saying, I think this is exactly what Pat wants. I think Pat wants Aaron to commit as many of these Slayers into battle as he can. This turn, he's got Labyrinth. I think Labyrinth was sort of that bait once again. Like, okay, he's played this stuff. We don't need to like worry about this kind of stuff. We don't have to worry about all fall down. Get these guys in here. And I think, depending on how many of these Slayers come in, I think this go very, very poorly for Aaron. So six hit points left on that Krabbit. And Pat's, once again, I think Pat's great about this. Dies, gets the corpse. That corpse is going to go to a Skin and Moans later. That Skin and Moans is going to go up to POW 1,000,000 and just murder like 2 Slayers on one activation.
So assuming we'll see the Night Wretch try to eliminate that Gremlin Swarm with a shot.
Yep.
With its magical cannon.
Yep, so here we go. Night Wretch moves on up, getting within 4, so the blast damage cannot miss. He killed the Krabbit, so there is no shield guard here.
Here comes the shot. It's going to
We
boost
are
to hit.
boosting to hit. I would have almost allocated another focus to this Night Wretch, just to make sure.
With how important killing the
yeah,
Gremlin
just
Swarm
to
would be?
make sure this
Definitely.
Gremlin Swarm dies.
Because, I mean, it is possible he fails this one.
Oh, no, he did miss. Oh, he rolled like a champion, though. He rolled like a champion, got it. Pat picks up the corpse.
Gremlin corpses. Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
So you charge against the Cage Rager.
Yep.
And the question I have is how many more Slayers can get to that Cage Rager? Because, like you said,
Yes, let's head into this
one
top-down
Cage
view, and
Rager
maybe
is
we can
not.
see what's going on exactly
it's not going to go
behind
down
this
to a single Slayer.
Yes, yeah.
That's
So I
not
think
an
there's
even
2,
matchup
right?
at
There's this
all.
one and there's this one. We do have Labyrinth up though, so we want to make sure that they're only moving 9 inches. Which does look like the players have caught. That looks like it's easily 9. They do still have Pathfinder, even though Labyrinth is up. So I'm guessing this guy can get in there as well. So none of that looks like any problems to me. Those 2 probably kill his Cage Rager.
Skin and Moan's dance party's coming up next. Then
Yes, yeah. This guy, I'm going to bet he's going to get the corpses. We're going to get a Manifest Destiny. This guy might just kill both of these.
just live the
Slayers.
dream.
Like,
There's
I don't
no
think-
skin.
I don't think any of that's a problem.
Well, I mean, it's a problem if you're Skin and Moans. He's going to be mad about that. He was promised
fair.
skin.
Fair. I also think you could get a different situation. This guy
Well, yeah, he
moves
could
here and
Mirage
gets
in.
those 2, and then he comes over here and gets this one, right? Cage Ragers, whatever comes on this side goes around like so. So I think Pat's got some good options here. I think Aaron's best bet at this point, he's committed in, 4 Slayers? I think his best bet is to commit all of them.
Just put them all
Just
in.
put them all in there, right? Because you don't want Pat to be able to control you out. You don't want to be able to be sort of kited a little bit as this goes
Right.
on. We've committed 4. I think it's time to commit all of them. Sadly, I was rambling and didn't see or hear too much about those damage rolls.
I got 8 on the first one and I think 4 on the second. So
Oh, that's not great.
it wasn't amazing.
We've got a combo strike coming in. We hit, of course, because Cage Ragers are defense 10. Does 11 there
So better.
to the 5.
It's going to boost the damage.
6 damage to 6. So it looks like he's going to live. All right, Aaron. Right now, okay, so let's talk about playing against Grimkin. We've got an Arcana already played. We just left a Cage Rager at 3 damage. We want to kill...
One Cage Rager.
No. Well, 1, we want to kill it if we can.
Yep.
If we can't, if we can't, we want to kill all the gorehounds. We want to kill all the gremlin
Sure.
swarms. We want to kill all the crabbits because
Just
that's
don't
what's going
put
to
a bunch
trigger.
of damage on a bunch of other things.
Well, that's what's going to yeah, exactly, right? Like that's what's going to trigger these Arcana like sacrifice here. So I think it's very, very, very important that we kill these gremlin swarms, that we kill these cage raiders and stuff. So I think that's very important.
Well, I mean, so the problem is that if he kills anything else in this turn, that Cage Raider's going to be like it never took damage.
No, he's already played Labyrinth, and he can only play one per turn.
Right. He's only
So
played
so
one
now
turn.
is the
Sure.
time. Like you've got an Arcana played, you've put these damage on these heavies,
Yep.
so you go in there.
You gotta drive hard. So Hellfire is stopped by Arcane Vortex. And it looks like we're going after that Gorehound, right?
No, I think it's the Gorehound's melee range. Yeah, it looks like we're going.
Well, yeah,
after
but
the
I mean,
Gorehound
that
now.
Slayer
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going
yeah,
after
yeah.
the Gorehound, right?
Back to the Armor 23 free strikes.
So hits in the back.
So we do want to try and clean up all these little models right here.
Hits in the back. 9 more points, so 18 total so far.
It's got 2 left.
And the Tusk miss.
Okay, so the tusks miss, but the bot attack kills him.
So there's one more Gorehound down.
That's good. That's good. We want to clear as many of these as we can right now before we get into that sacrifice trap. Pat's making fun of the Speed 6 Slayer for being a slowpoke.
After losing 2 inches of speed.
Yep.
So we're trying to crush a Crabbit right now.
Yep. That Gorehound took out one of his hands, so we got the hit with the good hand.
The good mitt. So it gets 8 damage to the 5.
Yep. The tusks are coming in. Oh,
Ooh.
he leaves him at 2 hit points. We got a buy on the claw, however.
Yep.
It hits with a 10.
This should do it.
Pat gets the corpse.
So Crabbit is now dead.
And Dreamer picks up the Fury.
Well, I mean, he's taking your advice. He's going all in.
I mean, I think he's got to, right? Like, you need to make sure that whatever retaliation comes at you, that you have answers to it, right?
Well, and I think the other thing, too, that's possibly part of the plan with his Asphyxious feet up, you want Patrick to spend as much Fury as possible. Like,
Absolutely. So I
run
actually
everything
think,
as hot as possible. Give me all the focus for next turn.
I actually think this charge is not very good. And why I don't like this charge is because whatever damage you do here doesn't really matter, right?
'Cause it gets erased by sacrifice
yeah,
later.
so sacrifice is going to clear this. So what I would actually do here is try and get some control elements in. So like I would slam instead of charge.
Sure.
Try and knock down the Cage Rager, knock down the Skin and Bones so they can't get as efficient with
So
their
they
stuff.
have to spend
right?
the Fury to shake.
Yeah, they have to spin the Fury to shake if they want to do that kind of stuff. So this is a run here from the Slayer. This is a run here from this other Slayer would be my guess. And I'm saying, right, like we have fully committed.
Yep.
And I think that's great.
We are
I
all
think
in.
this is what Aaron had to do. So I think we're going to see how this Manifest Destiny turns out. It skews dice super hard. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what's going to go on here.
Yeah.
There's that Machine Wraith and those Gremlin Swarms are going to be staring at each other on either side of that zone for a while, I would guess.
What up, bro? How you doing?
How's your ghost life?
I like to mess with Jax, too.
Yes. You think when Gremlin Swarms get drunk, they just turn into Machine Wraiths?
No.
No?
I don't think that's the way it works.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I think Machine Race wish they were Gremlin Swarms.
When
I mean,
Machine
Machine
Wraiths
Race,
get drunk,
they're
they turn into
yeah,
Gremlin
they're
Swarms.
basically just like, the really sad goth kid who
The Machine
wishes
Wraith?
that he could be better at something. Probably like messing with Jax. And he's just like, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. And the Gremlins are like the frat boys just having all the fun. Look at them. They're joyous.
They are.
The machine wraith just looks sad. Look at his sad face.
It does look like the little sad cry face.
All right.
So I think Aaron had a situation kind of similar to Pat, where he could have used some of his Arcanotes and stuff to kind of jam up Pat's guys, make him kill those instead of Slayers. So
right.
Yeah, we're on to top of round 3. No CPs destroyed, or no CPs destroyed.
Man, if you could destroy CPs, that'd be
no objectives
that'd be
destroyed.
crazy.
No CPs earned. Aaron is now down over 10 minutes from Pat. I don't think that's the place where he wants to be.
Like we said, like I mentioned at the beginning, Pat has used this list very effectively to play to turn 7 or to clock over the course of the weekend. So, I mean, I think that's just part of the plan.
Yes. And we talked a lot last game about how faster decision making can really put you ahead. If you can get ahead on clock like Pat is right now, you can do a lot with that and sort of bully your opponent into making decisions and stuff like that. So I think this is sort of Pat's swing turn. If he can deal with all of these Slayers, let's try and draw it out here for just a second. If we've got, so the Gremlin Swarms will get out of the way. We don't need to worry about that. And I'm personally a big fan of saving Gremlin Swarm activations till the end because they can kind of do the sabotage things and do that kind of stuff.
A weakened Jack.
Yeah, so if you leave a Slayer like 3 or 4 hit points, you can pick it off real easily. So I think this guy right here is going to come over here, try and kill that Slayer. I think this guy is going to go at this Slayer. I think this guy is going to meet about 15 gremlins in his life. So assuming he can kill that, he can kill that. This guy gets sabotaged 3 times, and then, of course, mischiefed or whatever by this Gremlin Swarm, this Gremlin Swarm, and this Gremlin Swarm. That seems great to me. This Cage Rager, this Skin and Moans right here, maybe kills him and him if he gets corpses from the Death Knell. He kills this guy. This Skin and Moans kills this guy. That seems amazing for Pat. Now, I don't think all that's reasonable, right? Like, I think these Cage Ragers are probably at like 50-50 kill chance. Probably a little worse than that. So, like, let's say we kill this guy, or I guess it's this guy, and this guy's like super messed up. Maybe one of these Gremlin Swarms has to go at him. So we end up with this guy dead, this guy dead, this guy dead, this guy dead, and this guy dead. If that is what happens, we kill these 5 Slayers. I think Pat's in a pretty good spot.
That's pretty significant. The other thing, too, that you can't really factor in is where's the damage applied. If you can knock out the Cortex on 6 Jacks, you're just as happy as killing 5 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably,
you're probably
happier.
Yeah,
like,
probably
honestly,
happier.
like.
And Tony, let's actually talk about this soul counter, much like our old Risen counter, because I think this is going to be
an epic soul turn.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So the Dreamer is advancing a little bit backwards. Just checking her Manifest Destiny range.
Yep, well, she's not incorporeal, and all the Kravitz are dead, so no elusive. And I don't think she's in a great threat of dying, even where she was, but it's the, why give him a chance, right?
Yep.
Like, you might get your Cage Rager thrown at you by a Slayer, and then some Night Wretches shoot you to death or something. And it's probably pretty likely that Asphyxious is going to have,
all the 4 or 5 Hellfires.
Yeah, right? I think we might end up with, legitimately 25 focus this turn or something. Pat is commenting about how long 14 inches is. I mean, we're
so far
adults.
Away.
We're adults.
We are.
It's fine.
So adulting. We're the most adult.
Pat just said, we're going to give you a lot of fury, or a lot of souls, and we're going to see what happens when I do that. So I'm not even sure Pat quite knows what's going to go on here.
So we're kind of just looking at, can I get spelled to death?
I think the answer is definitely maybe.
Definitely maybe. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, yeah.
So the Dreamer did cast Manifest Destiny.
So if we kill 5 Slayers and we don't die the next turn, I think we're in a great place.
The game is won.
Probably. But otherwise, I don't know.
So Asphyxious already has 3 souls, right? From the Manifest Destiny spending.
Or
are those from the?
No, he got those from Vociferon, I believe.
The dead beasts.
Yeah, I think the Kravitz and the Gremlin Swarms got picked up.
She was out. She must have been out when she cast her Manifest Destiny then?
Yes. All right, our soul counter is coming up here in just a moment.
Here comes the first Cage Rager.
The wonderful Tony has pushed our soul counter live down there in the bottom. Tony, we currently have 3 souls.
All right, here we go. Swinging away. The first one missed?
Yeah, so I think missing 1 or 2 of these 6 attacks is probably fine, right? So 6 to the 1, we're a little above average there.
Like 1 point, really.
Yeah, like nothing fancy.
Nothing crazy.
Just 1 or 2.
So movement is out on the damage check.
That probably is amazing. We're up to 4 souls, Tony. We're going to be doing a lot of this. Stay ready. Another soul.
You might as well just keep the box open at this point, Tony.
All right, so there that goes. There's 1 down. I forgot that one was damaged, which I think makes this whole plan a lot more likely. We got a Phantasm coming out.
Not yet.
Oh, nope. We've decided to not use the Pinata just yet.
All right, so we're going to buy in that one. There's another soul.
There's another soul up to 6.
Does 8 points, so well above average there.
That's great. This is Signs of Importance in action, right? Like that additional die can be so much more than +2 that so many people simplify it to. 6 to 6.
So it looks like the next Cage Rager is going to go. All right,
here's the next Cage Rager.
Now has 2 of his jacks in there.
I mean, I didn't even take into account these back arcs, right? Like, this is super likely he hits all 6 of them, which means he's probably going to kill that Slayer. So we have 1 left there, right? Like, I think you stop attacking that Slayer at that point, and you let a Gremlin finish it off, right? Currently at 8 souls.
Tony's sleeping on the job over here.
Nine souls. Here we go. This is the Alexia counter I always wanted.
I know. I feel like we're going to run out of soul tokens on Aaron's side of the board here.
I know. He's got a whole little baggie of them down there.
Does he? That doesn't look like a baggie of souls.
Well, he's got at least 5 more down there, which I have absolutely no doubt that we will make it. Oh, Tony's soul counter only went to 1 digit. Oh, Tony. What have we done?
You've made a huge mistake, Tony. So another Slayer is down.
Absolutely.
2.
That's 2, and that other one's at 1 hit point. So I think a Gremlin can pretty easily pick it. Well, it can pick it up without rolling. So
looks like we're going to get a Pinata now.
We're up to 11
looks like 11 souls are now the new count.
Here's our Phantasm.
Phantasm. Yeah.
Aaron can't be feeling good right now.
No, I mean, we've got A Cage Rager
God,
left.
he
and
might
2
lose.
Skin and Moans at this
He
point.
might lose 4 more Slayers this turn. And I think if that happens, this game is just completely over unless Dreamer dies.
So next Cage Rager.
So we do score a hit
Whips him
there.
good. Woo! Oh, wow.
There's the boxcars.
Okay,
Second initial coming in.
4 points.
Yep. Another soul. 12 souls. $13 souls.
So
We
you
missed
missed
an
on
attack.
one. That's another Dead Slayer.
I mean, we're
Did you
saying.
just Ric Flair woo?
Woo!
Woo!
I don't want to like do it because I think it'd be really loud. So I'll just do like a little Ric Flair. Woo.
There you go. Woo! Little woo.
$14 souls. So Sphyxius is at 21 focus right now.
He is living the dream, sort of.
Sort of.
I mean, he doesn't.
Coming in for 1 more damage there.
I mean, that Cage Rager had to be kind of tired at this point.
Right? He's just been punching and punching.
He did a lot of work.
He did. He did. And once again, I think this is one of the downfalls of these skew lists, right? Like you don't
Yep.
have the answers. You don't have the answers. Pat is now worrying about how many transfers the Dreamer has. I believe it is 2 is the answer because
Yep.
she had to heal the Cage Rager as well. To talk to chat, some people are saying she upkept Mirage. I'm not sure she did upkeep Mirage. She may have.
I don't think that she did.
So she may only have 1, in which case, if I was Pat, I would immediately go into defensive positions and like start running models to block line of sight and that kind of stuff. Because I think this game is pretty won right now. And now it's a don't die, right?
Just don't die.
Like I think that Gorehound can get over there. I think you can use the Death Knell. You can probably use one of your 2 Skin and Moans. You don't necessarily need to commit another one into that. So I think this kind of thing is pretty fantastic.
Is Pat taking a minute now?
Oh yeah, I love that little like fedora on the Skin and Moans.
I know, isn't it great?
It's beautiful.
He's like, look at me.
This little guy right here. This little. I'm breaking Tony's counter. But yeah, that little fedora is adorable.
So we got another soul.
Yep. So we're up to 15 souls. Is that where we're at? I think we're at 15 right
15.
now. Skin and
Seems
Moans,
correct.
Animist. That was the 15th soul. He's walking up here. Looks like he's trying to get into melee with 2 different guys. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, so there is still a
So is there
Mirage
still
there.
a
So it does
Mirage,
look like
yeah.
Dreamer's only got 1. Oh, it's fedorable.
Fedora.
Thanks,
Fedora
chat.
and Moans.
Thanks, chat.
Second initial. Just carving through.
So there's another soul.
Should be at 17 now? 18 souls?
Hungerford will give us an update from the table here in just a moment, I think. 6 to 6. Skin and Moans doesn't get quite as much work done as I thought he would.
Nope. He also didn't have any souls, right? Or he had 1 soul.
He has the one corpse,
soul.
yeah.
The corpse. And that Slayer's Cortex is not out, which is great for Aaron.
Yeah, great for Aaron. It does look like it might have lost both of its arms, though.
Well, that's why you have your Ironmongers. They
That's
just run
true.
in,
That's true. There's
Fix
an
a
Iron
point of
Monger
arm, fix a
2
point of
inches
arm,
behind
you're
it
good
or
to
so.
go. Stick the arms back on.
Oh, there we go. The Gremlin Swarms are getting in there, doing their
Time to start being naughty.
jig. Oh, you could get a Gremlin Swarm over there and sabotage that guy, and then he can't get repaired.
That's true. That seems like a win.
This Soul Train does indeed have no brakes.
It just goes until the track runs out.
It's all right. We're at 30 focus right now next turn. No, that's not right. We're at 23 focus next turn.
Yep.
I think we can get to 30.
I feel like we can.
I feel like we can.
If Patrick just plays along here, we can get to 30.
I think he's legitimately starting to worry.
About the Dreamer getting nuked?
Yes.
I mean, it's fair.
Yep, so Slayer had 1 box left. We talked about this.
Trying to put out the
just got
mouse?
sabotaged. We're talking about what kind of thing can go in there. So 23 focus. I think we're actually probably off on our count a little bit. We're probably under by 1 or 2, but we haven't gotten an update just yet. We're probably looking at 5 fully boosted Hellfires,
That is
which is terrifying.
that is a dream right there.
Does 5 points with the sabotage.
Ooh.
He's going to take out the movement, and that will prevent the Ironmonger from
Yep.
from repairing him.
So that Slayer is basically useless at this point.
Yes. So I do think we're in sort of like the let's build a bunker strategy now.
is
So
the
I
way
think
to go.
Death Knell's going to clock up the front there. Maybe the Gorehound runs around to the other side. Maybe the Arc Node can't get around the back then. I don't know what's going to happen. If I was Pat, this game has been won. So... Yeah, so I'm going to be looking at getting this Death Knell. Yeah, there we go. He's already thinking about it. Great, good job, Pat. And then this guy comes over here, blocks this line of sight. Maybe even the Death Knell runs over here, blocking that line of sight, making sure that if they ever do get to you, it'll be from the front. Good job, Pat. I'm proud of you. So let's say Pat does clog all this stuff up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say he can get it so that none of these
None of these Arc Nodes can get there?
none of these Arc Nodes can get there.
Yeah.
So what does happen, right? So like we got a Slayer here. He's going to get mischiefed probably. That's very bad. I think our best hope there is to get the -2 speed result.
Yep.
Because if you get the -2 to hit or the damage, well, the hit's not super relevant because this guy's defense 10, right? But you can come in here. This guy's already damaged. So we want to make sure whatever it is that we finish off this Cage Rager first, which I don't think is a problem, right? Like we got 2 Slayers right here. This Skin of Bones hasn't gone yet, so who actually knows what's going to be living right here? But one of these 2 Slayers will probably be here. It can finish off this Cage Rager. This Slayer can come over here. If he plays Arcana, if he plays Sacrifice, you're a little sad, I guess. But it's probably better than him holding on to it. You come in here. Maybe you can kill him if he doesn't play the Arcana.
So not running around to the backside.
Check. Step 1 of not dying. That's it right there. Yeah, so if this guy can get in here, we can kill that. If this guy can finish him, there's hopefully 2 down right there. Now, Asphyxius has like 743,000 focus.
He has all the focus, yes.
He very well might be able to charge in here and kill this and this. Right? Like, that's a lot of stuff. We also got another Slayer right here. So even if we kill this guy, Arcana triggers here, or maybe we kill this guy, Arcana triggers here, and then we bring in these 3 Slayers, which is probably going to be 2 Slayers because I imagine the Skin and Bones will come here and kill that one. This guy is also annoying. We don't know where he's going to go. He has Bulldoze. He can push some stuff into some weird places. This guy's alive, but totally messed up, right? Like I think he's only got an arm.
He has
and
Cortex
he can't be repaired.
left.
So he's only got a Cortex, but can't be repaired.
Correct.
So that's not super great.
He's a non-issue.
Yeah. So we've got a couple Ironmongers, which isn't great. We've got a Vociferon, who's probably not going to be doing a whole lot. And we've got an Asphyxious with more focus than he could possibly ever use. So, yeah.
I mean, I think he'll use it all.
Use efficiently. How about that? How about that?
And that is the turn.
Yes.
So trying to kill the Death Knell at this point.
Yes, I think the hope is to kill the Death Knell. And then with that,
get the Arc Node over there.
You get a lot more damage on the...
So Aaron, considering his potential plays here.
Mm-hmm. We're checking some 6 inches here. We're trying to get some Night Red shots lined up, I think. Killing this thing first is, I think, a mistake. I think we definitely want to kill this southern, this guy right here before we do anything with that Death Knell. Because this guy has like 3 hit points left. And then if we can kill the Death Knell and he heals this Cage Rager, that's fine. We're cool with that. But this guy we want to take out first for sure. So, yeah. So that's kind of my take on this. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty complicated focus allocation here with our at least 23 focus, maybe more. All right, we're working through the sacrifice order of activation here. Looks like our first layer is just out on that guy. I think the hope is to kill that Cage Rager and then to charge past the rest of the army, get a Slayer on the Death Knell, put a combo strike into the Death Knell, and try and kill him with some Night Red shots, maybe? Try to kill the Death Knell with some Night Red shots.
Sure. And then do the big
then
spell apocalypse.
Go in for the 23 focus worth of Hellfires. So it looks like he's in range if he can kill that that Cage Rager.
The question is, can a single Slayer get the job done? I mean,
the Death Knell is not particularly tanky.
No. Right? It's arm 20 right now under its own aura.
Yep, with 22 hit points.
Still seems like a tall order for a single Slayer.
No, but a couple boosted PAL 14s from some Night Wretches can certainly get the job done. It's like a PAL 22 combo strike. Pat just said, "Oh my God, this is so exciting." So I think he's looking forward to what happens here, win or lose. That's one of the things that I love about Pat. Like, he just loves the game so much. It's not about winning or losing
Right.
games.
It's about seeing
It's
the
about seeing
play.
what happens, about playing well, about that kind of stuff, right? Like,
So, yeah, so the Cage Rager that is currently blocking the charge path has 5 boxes left.
yes. So a combo strike probably kills it. It's dice +1. You need a 3 to hit, so
Yep.
it's very likely to hit, very likely to kill.
So just a lot of math going on right now in Aaron's head as he tries to figure out this puzzle box.
Mm-hmm. You think Hungerford knows his face is slightly on the right-hand side of the screen? He's chewing something. Nom, 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 nom. So how do we feel about this plan?
Well, I guess the problem is that I'm assuming that the Dreamer will be able to pull some Sweet Fury off of that dead Cage Rager.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then all of a sudden your transfers go from 1 to a
To
lot.
4 or so. Yeah, 2-handed throw. Maybe that's the answer.
And try not to kill him. I mean, I can see the throw. What are your options there? You can throw
Well, I mean,
this
you
way.
just- you have to have a model to target a throw nowadays. Yeah, so there you go. Aaron just realized he can't give him transfers. So if he goes to here, throws this guy to here.
That'll probably kill him, though, don't you think?
I mean, it's POW 10, right? Slayers are only strength
Pow
10.
10 with 5 boxes left.
He's armor 21, so you
Armor
can't
21,
kill him.
Sure, you can't
So-
kill him. Yep.
Yeah.
And Aaron's saying that as long as he doesn't hit a model, he can't kill him. So
Yeah, he might be trying to throw that pinata away. We're getting our power-up focus put out.
mm-hmm. Take your. So both the Night Wretches up top getting 1.
I think it's for the boosted to hit, just to make sure that they get it done. All right, so the plan, as I understand it, is throw the pinata,
Yep.
throw the Cage Rager,
Yep.
charge the Death Knell,
Yep.
kill the Death Knell with a Slayer melee and 2 boosted damage Night Wretches, which I think is pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And then run the Arknote around back. You'll get her in the back arc. She won't have cover, and then you can get her with 4 boosted to hit and damage Hellfires.
So now we're. Patrick saying, if you can get a bead to me, I'm pretty dead.
Yes.
So here we're counting out our spells.
And I'm not even sure. So Aaron's actually done the math properly here. It's don't boost damage
Sure.
is the key here. So it's 19. 19 was the final soul count.
All right, so here we go.
So I hope the plan is still to throw this Cage Rager, because I haven't heard him actually say throw the Cage Rager. I've only seen him throw the Pinata.
Well, he did say as long as he doesn't throw the Cage Rager into another model, he can't kill it.
True.
He said that at one
may have been
point.
talking about the Pinata, though.
But why be worried about killing the pinata?
Sure. Fair. All right. We've thoroughly gone down the rabbit hole. Let's do this.
23 minutes to claim your title as world champion.
Oh,
or
yeah. Absolutely.
Once
Absolutely.
again, be number 2.
Yeah, just like last year. To Pat. All right, they're in agreement that the throw will not hit anybody, which also means it can't kill the pinata.
So first Slayer activates, moves. Power attack throw on the pinata.
Yep. It's a good thing you boosted. I think that hit it. I think that hit exactly.
All right, strength 10 pinata.
All right, they're going to roll them all in the same box
Oh
for the
my.
strength check. Here we go.
Oh my.
Oh my God! Did he just lose?
The pinata wins.
the strength
Oh my
check.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh jeez. Back into the tank.
Wow.
Back into the tank. So why do we not want to kill this pinata?
I don't know. Because he doesn't want sacrifice, but that doesn't make any sense. So -2 speed from the mischief.
There's 2 inches.
That is one sturdy pinata.
My God. So we need a 7 to hit this here death knell.
So dice off 6. Needs a big roll.
Does 3. That's not what he wanted to see there.
Not a great start to this whole thing.
No, it's not.
So Slayer
It's
just
-2 speed as well.
moves out of the way.
There we go. We've checked up our ranges. We've got our proxy bases out. We are going to get there. Oh, no.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. So,
Oh, okay, so he's
There it
setting it
goes
up
there.
just in case.
yep.
Oh, he's trying to go through the death knell.
Oh.
I don't think this is a good plan. So I don't think... I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know why he needs to not kill this thing. Oh, God, and the first one missed the death knell.
This is it's gone from bad to worse.
to worse. Like, what am I missing on this phantasm? Why do we have to kill it?
I
Or
don't.
why do we have to not kill it, I guess?
Well, it eliminates upkeeps, but I don't.
Yeah, but I don't think
that
that's
matters
relevant.
because mobility is not an upkeep. So, I don't know. Otherwise, outside the arcane pulse and the sacrifice trigger,
But the sacrifice
which
trigger doesn't do
matter.
anything.
Right. So
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
especially his close Cloaks of Ash himself, and so at this point, the goal is to just survive. So he misses on the combo on the wounded Cage Rager. Does no damage. So the Cage Rager lives. And this is when So basically the dice completely say no, and everything's going to frenzy.
Yes, that is definitely true. But unfortunately, we spent all 73 of our focus, so we don't have a plan anymore.
I don't know. I'm with you. I don't understand the need to not kill the pinata.
And I feel like
throwing
once
the
this
cage
happens,
racer
right?
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And that plan would have been successful. I mean, to be honest, his dice, if he had rolled like he did against the cage rager, would have mattered.
Sure. Man, he didn't even kill that other cage rager.
No.
Oh my gosh.
He missed on the first, hit on the second, boosted, did no damage.
Wow. That's
So,
amazing.
I mean, the dice have definitely gone AWOL here.
So I feel like after he fails his plan, right? Like, why doesn't Asphyxius just charge and kill 2 heavies?
Sure. I mean, with all the focus ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not exactly certain what just went down this turn. But we're getting into the both players under 20 minutes plan here.
Right.
Which means I'm going to start getting crazy.
Yeah, you're going to go start getting wild. Wild Ghani's going to come out.
Wild Ghani.
He's so crazy.
We just said no charge targets for the Gorehound. Can it see that objective, perhaps? Is that a legal target?
It should be, right? It is
Should
it
be.
is a model.
Tony, can you check with the judges why the Gorehound is not charging that objective, please?
Maybe he can't see it. Which
It is
Gorehound are we
possible
talking
that we
about?
can't see it. This Gorehound right here. Just
He
frenzied.
might not be able to see it.
Well, I mean, he's got his base all the way out there, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't.
Yep, here we go. Oh, here we go. And he's ghostly, so he just goes, whoop.
Whee! I hate you, objective. Woo!
So 5 points to the objective.
Man, that was one angry
Look at that.
Gorehound.
You get out of here, Pat. So Pat was only able to leech off like 5 Fury, and there's not that many Gremlin Swarms left, so he maybe got like 7 or 8 Fury off there. Considering he maxed out basically every beast on his force. Not too many Frenzies, but there's a lot of Fury left out there,
Yep.
which I think Pat might have almost rathered that they
Frenzied?
did Frenzy.
Yeah.
Because then there's no more Fury, and you can
Now he's
deal
going to
with
have to
it,
deal
right?
with similar things on the next turn.
Yep.
His capacity is definitely way more diminished.
Yes, significantly. So I still don't think this is great for Aaron at all.
No.
But it could be less bad than it was. She's casting Manifest Destiny.
All right. So Dreamer has healed a couple points as well with Fury on a couple of her damaged war beasts.
We got 2 boxes left on one of these Slayers here. Ooh.
Start wailing again.
Yeah.
10 points to 4. Wow.
10 points to 4 is a pretty
These
good
cage
roll.
ragers are just they've been juicing.
Eight to 5. This Manifest Destiny, it's not +2. I'm just going to keep saying it. Everyone keeps telling me it's +2. It's not +2. It's way better.
All right, you stay on your soapbox, Pagani. That's fine.
I'm staying on it.
Tall and proud.
That is the little phantasm that could. Skin and Bones' Lurkerden is now charging.
Oh, get in there, Skin and Moans.
And I mean, this isn't super great, right? Like you don't want to have to you don't want to have to pay for the charge, and you definitely don't want to have to also Lurker.
Right.
So I think Pat's so far ahead that it's not necessarily terrible. But yeah.
So the chat's talking about, why he didn't want to kill the pinata. I don't think sacrifice was an issue. All he needed to do was throw the Cage Rager out of the way of the Slayer that needed to charge.
Correct.
Sacrifice was inconsequential. He killed the pinata, Cage Rager goes to full, you kill the Dreamer, you've won anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So.
And certainly hitting that pinata with your claws is a way safer way.
Way safer, yes. Bloop. Here we go.
Oh, the corpse.
The
corpse
souped-up skin
handing.
and moans. Down to 2 corpses on his death now. Look at the little piggy. He's so happy.
He is loving life. He's got
gonna be
all
the
these
proud
tokens with him.
second-time world championship, probably.
So just a lot of attacks going on here from the Cage Rager.
And Pat's kind of moved into speed mode. Once again, once players see that under 20-minute timer, they start panicking. This is where mistakes can come in. This is where you just start moving faster on your attacks. So he became a tiny mouse.
Tiny mouse!
Yay! Yep. So I think we're down to 1 Slayer left. Maybe 2. Looks like 2. 1 up there in that top zone, 1 down here in this bottom zone.
I mean, here goes another cage party here.
And we're just cleaning up. Sabotage for 6, doing 6 points to that last
Those
remaining Slayer over
gremlins
there.
are loving it.
Oh, they're playing in the fountain. And 5, wow. So it's 11 damage from Gremlin Swarms? That's amazing.
So Pat will score 1 on the center. From the Dreamer being in there, right?
Yep. And I feel we kind of called that no one was going to score the zone unless the game was very over.
Right.
I think we have achieved the very over state of this game.
I mean, I'm curious.
I mean, we can get 2 Hellfires on her, but she's camping 3, right?
Yeah. Well, how many of the beasts are full up on Fury though?
That's true. That's true. We don't know that. We're not going to get a count on that. So. It misses. He Spectral Leached from Vociferon to try and remove some Fury. I'm going to guess Asphyxia is holding all the focus, and we're going to try and do something crazy. I'm not sure there's much crazy that we can really do here. It seems like Pat's got this game in the bag to me.
It definitely seems pretty tight at this point. So we're gonna give it a try.
Shoot Streamer in the back, but she's incorporeal.
Is she?
Yeah. Okay, so she is incorporeal, so no damage from the Night Wretch.
Pa-pow! The kind of funny part about that is that in Tim's and Aaron's game, Tim did the exact same thing to his Wraith engine,
Yes.
where he threw a bomb on it, forgetting that it was incorporeal.
Yep. Ah. Chad just brought up an excellent point. One of the reasons why Lich didn't really want to get in there with 23 focus or whatever is All Fall Down was still available. So we should have tried to bait out that that sacrifice, and then you could go in with Lich to get your free 2 heavies.
So All Fall Down has now been played.
Yep. So there's still like a million Fury out there for Pat, right?
So Pat has scored enough. So Pat does not score that turn. And so Asphyxious just sat on all of his focus, right?
That poor Slayer is going to get ripped apart by those gremlin swarms over there.
These gremlin swarms are getting work done.
They are.
Wait, what's happening?
This seems a relatively simple cleanup to me. I'm not even sure you try and kill Asphyxious, right?
You just kill his army and
like,
start scoring.
yeah.
Take it to the end.
Yeah. I mean, if you just literally kill every model on the table, you can't lose the game. So just surround Asphyxious in 5 heavies or something and go kill everything else. Dreamer's going, casting Manifest. She's walking over there. So she's not going to be in circle zone anymore, so there's not going to be any more points scored from Pat from that zone. So she's casted Wraithbane onto the Gorehound, who's probably going to go kill that Machine Wraith. And it looks like he's kind of trying to take over this zone. So I don't think Pat's necessarily going to go for it. So both Skin and Bones are now full up.
So if Pat wins, which seems likely,
Yes.
do you think we're going to see him at this table with Crucible Guard next year?
I do know he did pick up Crucible Guard, so I think that would be really, really cool. Really
I mean,
cool.
one of the prizes for winning the World Championships, not just that sweet gauntlet, it is a Crucible Guard army.
Well, that's awesome, too.
I mean, that's how he got his Grimkin army.
That is true. That is true. All right, we've got a full Corpse Skin and Bones coming in. We're going to boost. We need an 8. Absolutely hits. Dice plus 2. We'll make it down to 7 with the focus token there. Making it 2, 9 left.
So 6 left on Asphyxious. So Asphyxious is dead, and that is game. So there's the handshake.
Pat has won again.
Amazing. Pat,
Brilliant.
Patrick Dunford, yet
Brilliant.
again, the world champion.
Look at him just standing there all calm. He's probably smiling like crazy.
There he is, our world
he
champion.
Just says he got lucky.
War Machine
and he's
and
happy
Hordes.
about it. The great Pat Dunford there. He just wants to hold the trophy.
Just wants to hold it. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And there he
There we
is.
go. The great Pat Dunford.
There you are, twice
Two
in a row,
times in a
two-time
row.
world championship.
Beautiful.
Pat
Beautiful.
Dumford. So amazing work. Fantastic game.
Congratulations to Pat.
Just
It
absolutely
was a well-fought
crazy.
game.
It was. That was one heck of a world championship, as always.
It was indeed.
I mean, just like every Iron Gauntlet so far, an amazing game. Super up to the end. Pat's now
Yeah.
putting on the Iron Gauntlet, which is terrifying at this point. You got to learn how to put on a gauntlet, Pat. You got
There
to
we
figure it
go.
out. There you go.
He's got to learn how all that works. It's his now.
I mean, most people
It's
don't
his.
go around wearing gauntlets, so
No, I would imagine
it
not.
makes sense,
I would imagine not.
Yeah, well, honestly, that kind of wraps up all of our stream coverage for this year's Lock and Load 2018. There we go. He's wearing the gauntlet. Woo! Look at that right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What an amazing weekend. What an amazing event. We saw some great play. We saw some amazing players. Class all the way. Everyone with super high sportsmanship.
Absolutely. It was
We
fantastic.
thank you all for joining us over the last 3 days of streaming. If you missed any of it, you can always check it out on Twitch or on our YouTube channel, Private Chip Press Prime, and watch as much as you want.
I do believe we have the closing ceremonies as our final stream coming up next.
We do, yep. So we're going
So
to
that'll be the end.
officially close everything out for this year, say goodbye, and we will see you for that here shortly. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Will Schick,
I'm Will Pagani.
and we will see you on the next one.
Later.
Would you have died to the spell assassination?